everybody, and welcome back to the Unbiased Rugby Podcast. If you don't already know, my name is Matthew. Brent, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks yourself, Matt.
Oh, can't complain, mate. We just covered the preview of the All Blacks France game, 3 days away till the opening, and then Sunday, South Africa versus Scotland in our first game, probably our biggest game of the pool stages, in my opinion.
You reckon?
Absolutely.
You count Ireland out of it.
I haven't counted them out. I just think that Scotland are a more important win because, we can afford to lose to Ireland, which is a possibility. Not saying it will happen, but we can't afford to lose to Ireland and Scotland. So if Scotland get the upset, we're kind of screwed.
Also very true. I didn't look at it from that point.
Yeah, well, listen, it gives me nightmares. Not that I'll admit it. But no, I reckon we'll still finish on top of that pool. I think we'll beat Scotland and Scotland will beat Ireland. Ha!
That would be a bit of a shocker.
Well, I wouldn't put your house on that one.
No. I'm glad that you kept your house with that last game, though.
Yes. I kept my house. I told you I kept my house. I told you put your house on the fact that the All Blacks are going to lose that game. No, I didn't actually. I was talking about All Blacks in France this weekend. I said put your house on it that New Zealand will win. And I still stand by that.
I still think it's a risky one, but...
South Africa versus Scotland. Well, if I don't have my house, at least I can go live in my truck.
That's another thing, yeah.
South Africa, Scotland. Brent, you excited?
I'm super excited. Super stoked, though.
I'm stoked. I'm so stoked.
I took Monday off, so I've got the whole next week off for the World Cup and everything like that, 2 weeks.
Nice.
So nice. I'm super stoked for it, though.
Me too. I'll be in Toronto for this game. I'll be flying out to watch it with my brother-in-law in Toronto, so I won't be around sort of until Tuesday-ish to do the post matches and everything like that. But I'll keep in touch with you, obviously, and then we'll get back into making the post matches and going into next weekend's game from there. Scotland, South Africa. I mean, I don't. After the performance we put in against the All Blacks, I don't think Scotland have enough forwards to survive.
No, they don't have enough South Africans is the problem. They have enough, but not enough South Africans in their pack of forward. I mean, they've got a very strong squad, Matt. They're not going to be a walkover. You take players like Darcy Graham and Pierre Schoeman, Finn Russell, Duan van der Merwe.
Fire, eh?
They've got some insane players. If they click on the day, we could be in a little bit of trouble. We just got to be very careful with what we do.
I was doing a little bit of research. I watched a little bit of clips of Finn Russell, and when he plays, he can play. Eh?
Yeah, he can. When it clicks, it works.
Dangerous. And obviously, Duan van der Merwe on the wing, absolute fire and a big threat. Threat. The South African A side, we call them, eh? The Scottish international team. Yeah,
that's it.
That's the one.
You reckon we're going to go for a 7-1 split?
No, I don't think you'll ever see that again. I'd love to see it just to piss everybody off.
Because people were bitter about it, eh?
Do you check that old Scottish coach? I think his name's Matt Williams, or if it's Matt Williams or something like that. He was just, it's against the rules. They're abusing the bench. What a joke. What a complete and utter joke. They're completely within the rules. They could put 8 forwards on the bench if they wanted to. It's like you said, The only problem with that is that Scotland doesn't have enough South Africans to field 8 forwards.
That's it. That's exactly it. So, I don't think that we'll be doing that. I think we'll probably just go with our usual 6-2 split.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a bit unprecedented, and I unless it was really planned and it is a bit of a mind-boggling sort of game, I think that if you see that again, it might be in the final against New Zealand again.
It could be, but it can backfire though.
Absolutely, but
we do have comes great reward.
You've got to risk it for the biscuit.
100%, but we do have a lot of forwards that can pull off backline positions, like Kwagga Smith, for instance.
Smith, then you've got the likes of, even if you play Grant Williams, like we were saying before the video, if you play Grant Williams or if you play Kobus Reinach, both of them can slot into wing. You've got Damian Willemse, who can play 10, 12, 13, 14 or 15.
Yeah.
You've got Kanan Moody, who can slot in anywhere in the back line. He can play fullback, he can play centre, which we clearly saw last weekend, and he can play wing.
Correct.
And then obviously we don't have a second 10. you've got Willems as your second 10, but between him and Mani Libok, let's hope Mani's got his kicking thing sorted with that little angle change and everything like that.
100%, yeah.
Between them two, Faf can stand in at 10 if need be, as well as Colby can stand in at 10. I
Correct, yeah,
know
he
they're
has done a
not
couple.
world-class established 10s, but if they need to pull it off for 5 or 10 minutes, they can do it. And I
Yeah, it is
think the
possible.
Springboks team is bloody dangerous.
Oh, yeah, for
I
sure.
mean,
Especially with this Andre Estes and Kane and Moody centre pairing at the moment.
yeah,
It was exactly what we needed there.
absolutely. And everyone called for it. Everyone's been waiting for it. We called for it. Everyone has in our comments, people have been wanting to see it. And I think that they have established themselves. They have sort of pushed out, especially Esterhuizen. He's really pushed Dialendi out of the fold. I think Dialendi is now, I was the biggest backer of Dialendi. I thought I never rated him up until the 2019 World Cup, but in that
Yep.
2019 World Cup, he was an absolute demon.
Yeah, he was good.
And then since then, he sort of dropped down, and Esterhuizen's come in and he said, "Well, if you don't want to do the job, I'll do it." And
Yeah,
I think that he's earned his spot. So I think that he really deserves to start. Whether we'll see that, I think we might see, like we spoke about, a Dialendi and Moody, or Esterhuizen and Creel kind of situation going on, maybe with Moody on the wing.
yep.
I feel like they need to play Colby, though. We didn't play him last weekend. I think he needs
Colby
some game time. He played
and
against
Mapimpi
Wales.
as well against Scotland, I reckon.
Yeah, well, Mapimpi going up against Duan van der Merwe, like you said, is absolutely what you need. You can't be putting up Kurtley Arendse against Duan van der Merwe. He'll get annihilated.
I don't think about annihilated. I'm just thinking with the size impact of it. We also don't want to injure Kirtley so early in the game. Van der Merwe is a very hard runner.
He's a hard runner,
Put
and
someone
he's
with a little bit more
quick.
stature there. Yeah.
I
Put
mean,
someone
I
with a little
don't
bit more
see.
stature there, like Mapimpi, and then he can face against someone his own size.
Absolutely. And it's like you say, he's a hard runner, he's a big boy, and he's quick. I don't see
Yeah.
Kurtley being that much quicker than Duan van der Merwe.
His step is a little bit more brutal though.
I think because he's a bit more agile.
For sure. For sure.
So yes, absolutely. If he gets a meter to a meter and a half gap, he's gone. Orange is gone. But
Correct.
one up, I think Duan's going to crush him. So we'll see. I hope they play Mapimpi. We spoke about that, and I think they will. I think you're right. And now it's whether or not, what do you do now? If you were Rassi or Jacques, but Rassi runs the show. So let's say you were Rassi, what would you do? If you had Mapimpi on at 11,
Yeah.
you would obviously go with Esterhuizen and what, Moody, essentially.
I don't know. I think I'd probably go to Linde and Creel for this game. Go for the strong not, I wouldn't say the stronger backline. I mean, Andre Esterhuizen is definitely much stronger in his position. Kane Moody's a much better stepper than Jesse Creel is. And I don't know. It's just, let's go for experience with a Scottish one. Let's not test any boundaries. We've got a couple of games after that to start testing. And then also we don't have to put the absolute top team in against us. We also got to be careful of injuries. There's a lot of games to come.
Mm.
So let's just take it
you'd
easy on
go
the
with
first game.
Dialendi and Creel, give them a run,
Correct.
and rest Moody and Esterhuizen, or would you have Moody on the right wing or Colby?
Colby. I'd put
So
Colby on.
All right, and then thereafter, like we play Romania and such, then you can mess around a little bit more, bring in your second tier, and we spoke about it, the forward pack.
I would definitely start Marks, Malherbe, and Kitshoff. They've got a very strong scrum, Scotland. Like we said, they got a couple of South Africans in there, Pierre Skuman. So yeah, rather just go with a the bomb squad has changed. I'm not saying they're better. I'm just saying this tactic worked for us in 2019. That's the one that worked. But right now, what's working for us now is to start Marks and France and Kitshoff.
Absolutely, and I completely and utterly agree. And I think that Dwayne has still got to be starting at 8.
I still rate Dwayne. I do rate Dwayne. He's brilliant. He is brilliant. Sia Khaleesi and Peter stepped away.
Yeah, Jasper did so well last year, but he sort of fell off the map a little bit this year. Jasper Wiese at 8.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
last
lost
year
a
he
little
was
bit of
incredible.
momentum, eh? He lost a bit of momentum
I wonder
somewhere.
what
I mean,
happened there.
he's still super strong. No, I think he's just more targeted now. Previously, people didn't really know about him, so
I suppose
they
he
weren't
was
target him.
yeah, he was probably underestimated a little bit. Nobody expected him to
Correct.
come out the blocks firing like that.
So now people see him grab the ball, they're like, okay, well, I've got to do something. Yeah, we can't give this Oak a gap.
Mm.
So I mean, yeah, I would start Dwayne, and then probably Peter Steph to Tway.
Yeah, well, that's probably the exact same team I'd go for. Barring, I didn't expect you to start Deolindy and Creel, but I hear where you're coming from. I do. I hear where you're coming from with that. Rest some players. You can't play the same team 3 weeks in a row and then bring in a different team. Give everybody a little bit of a chance and let them all sort of become one. If you want to, if you want to
Yeah,
get
that's
I don't
exactly
know,
it.
inspirational about it. Let them all merge together and get some flow as a unit, so that anyone can just come in and you know get out of the gates firing. That they're not a bit rusty or they haven't played with the team and everything like that. So I completely agree with you. Um, I think that, talking about the 7-1 split, going back to everyone was absolutely disgusted. What a joke, Brent. The Northern Hemisphere coaches and this and that Matt Williams, like I mentioned him earlier, what a complete and utter joke.
Yeah.
You've got to adapt or die,
But
you
that's the
know?
thing is, they don't want you to adapt. The Northern Hemisphere doesn't want you to adapt. They
But
want to they want to change the rules to suit them, so that it keeps the Southern Hemisphere. Well, it gives them a chance to actually win a World Cup, other than England winning it once.
Shots fired
No, but it's the
at the
truth, though,
Northern
Matt.
Hemisphere.
Let, let's be honest now. Every time South Africa does something, that the rules are going to be changed, and it doesn't work like that. If Rassie is
Yeah,
willing to think out of the box, then jump on the bandwagon and start thinking out of the box. But don't come and
absolutely.
change the rules to suit you.
No, listen, I completely agree with you. So you're going to find some comments on that one there.
That's all right. They must comment. I don't mind.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that you're right. It's adapt or die. Um, it's not about the same old boring game. The game is constantly changing. The game is constantly evolving. Everything is
Correct.
changing, and you need to change with it. And if you have a game that suits you, play the game that suits you, as long as it's within the
100%.
bounds of the rules. South Africa's always been forward dominated. We
Correct.
dominate. Our forward pack dominates the game, and in doing so, our backline maybe gets us. Look at the New Zealand game. We had one backline try. The rest were forwards because we completely and utterly obliterated them, and
Matt,
that's just how it works.
if the Northern Hemisphere had the depth of putting out um, a 7-1 split like we just did, do you think that they won't?
No, well, they would, but that game doesn't work for New Zealand. New Zealand have always had a backline running game. They've
Fast
always had a
pace.
counter-offensive game. They
Correct.
they 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 counter-attack off of your mistakes, such as a knock-on or losing the ball. Lukey, go watch over there, please. Yeah, no, but on a video here, boy, and everyone can hear Minecraft going on here. Just go and eat quickly and then go watch over there. Sorry about that. He's watching his Minecraft here right next to me.
Oh, good.
um, the life of being parents, eh?
That's it.
Yeah, so New Zealand always had that counter-offensive game. We'd knock the ball on, they'd pick it up. All of a sudden, they've made an 80-meter run and scored a try, and
Correct.
that's what worked for them. That is what worked for them. We always had a set piece game. France have come into it. I've noticed they've also got a very forward-dominated game.
Yeah.
Their forward pack is absolutely phenomenal
Ireland. Ireland is also one like
as
that.
well. As well.
England.
So
England only scored one of their first backline tries now after a while.
after what? How many? 7 or 8 games? You told me.
Yeah, it was like something like 5 games. It was like 600. I don't know. It was probably like 300 hours worth of playtime, and they scored
And
one
they hadn't
backline
had
try or
one
something like that.
backline try. So the game evolves, and if you can, you do what works for you. And if that's what works for us, then you know what, adapt or die. If you're going to lose every game going forward, that's not our problem. It's yours. You know.
Yeah. Change it up.
So
Get a couple more
exactly,
South Africans in your team.
and it gets people to. And it gets people talking, and that's the beautiful thing about rugby. So, going into this weekend, Scotland probably, like I said, our most important game of the pool stages, and
Also think so.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. Very excited. I'll be in Toronto in the pub watching. I'll take some. It's this pub. It's got like 3 different floors, and it's a rugby place. So I'm hoping
That'll be
it's going to be
sick.
insane.
I'm sure it
And I'm
will
going to
be.
take some videos and everything so that when we make the post match, you can see everybody celebrating
I'll be lacquer.
when we beat Scotland. You can put your house on
Yeah,
that one.
the game's going to be at 5:45 my time, the 10th of September, Sunday.
Well, yeah, my time it'll be 10:45, but in Toronto 11:45. So lunchtime for me, perfect time to start the beers. I mean, I've got Springboks up by at least 15 points in this game. 10. I'm gonna be a bit more. I'm gonna say between 10 and 15 points. I reckon they'll take about 12. So I'm gonna go Springboks 30, Scotland 18.
I'm going to call it about 2 tries. I'll say about 14 points. I think that we're going to put on top of them.
The scoreline there, just by 14.
Just by 14.
Just by 14. All right. Well, that's great. I'm looking forward to it. Very excited. A couple of other games being played this weekend. Fiji, Wales,
Yeah, obviously it
Argentina,
starts off
England.
as Italy, Namibia, Ireland, Romania,
Oh, wow. That'll be
Australia,
a walkover.
Georgia. That will be a walkover. Australia, Georgia, I think is going to be quite a hitter. Because I mean,
Mm,
Georgia's quite strong, and you don't know if Australia's not clicking, it's not going to go so well. But hopefully they start clicking because they got a great young team.
Did you join that SuperBru pool that I invited you to?
I didn't have time to
Not
be
yet.
honest with you.
Okay.
I'll
Because
I'll
I've
do
got
it soon.
Ireland up by Romania by 50 points in that.
By 50, your dude, that's rough.
I've got them up by 50.
Another great game for this weekend is England Argentina.
Oh, walkover. Argentina's going to go in there. They're going to walk out without a scratch and probably 20 points.
I'm hoping that they actually put their foot down because they've done well in World Cups previously, but they haven't always shown their potential. So I'm actually hoping this year is one of their best years that they could do it because they're in the right side of the draw.
Yeah, I agree.
Then we got Japan and Chile, the South Africa Scotland game, and Wales and Fiji.
South Africa versus South Africa A.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wales versus Fiji, the last game of the weekend. And I think that's also going to be quite an interesting
I
one.
think
If
Fiji, we spoke about it.
I think Fiji's going to be something to deal with. I don't think it's going to be a walkover
I
because
don't think
they've
it'll
got.
be a walkover, but I think that Fiji have got a good chance of making a bit of an upset there and fighting their way into the quarterfinals.
I definitely think so. If they can keep everything clean because they have been known for giving out cards and ill discipline. So if they've got their discipline behind each other, I think that they can do really well in this World Cup as well.
You know. So based on our World Cup prediction, this is what we need to happen. We need New Zealand to take out France on Friday night. We need South Africa to take out Scotland. We need Argentina to beat England and Australia to beat Georgia. That'll keep our sort of
Prediction alive.
predictions alive.
Correct.
It doesn't really matter what happens with Ireland because we know they're going to beat Romania. So, and then
Yeah.
going on to next week. But yeah, I'm very excited. We're 3 days away. I've been waiting for
3
this.
days, mate.
I remember
But
sitting at
this
the
week
beginning of
is.
last year going, next year's the World Cup.
But this week is dragging. It's always like
It's
that.
taking
Just
its
before
time.
absolute time. It's only Tuesday here now, so got a couple of
Well,
days to wait. But super stoked. Can't wait.
hundreds, brother. Always nice to see you. I'll speak to you, obviously, on game day.
100%.
Cheers,
100%,
buddy.
Matty. Cheers, guys.
Bye bye.